Church on the Street is a Christian humanitarian organization that started out with one mission in mind. How do we take the gospel of Jesus to communities? How do we ensure that families with very, very little resources have access to education and children have access to nutritious warm meals? So my journey with nonprofit and the development work that I do started about 5 years ago. I want you to imagine for a second an undergraduate student at the University of Benin studying a course he didn't even apply for. But one day, while preparing for a psychology exam, you were having a conversation with your friend and she says to you, how about we go to an orphanage home? That was when the light bulb came off in my mind. And I thought to myself, look, as an undergraduate, imagine if while being a student, I can actually touch the lives of people right here on campus. And that was how my dream actually started with Church on the Street.
I joined Church on the Street in 2018, and I had a feeling that I needed to do more. I needed to reach out to people, and at that time I was working in Lagos. I didn't have the technical know-how to start an NGO or have the resources to start an NGO. And out of the blue, Itofa called me and spoke to me about the Church on the Street that he started in University of Benin. And he asked me if I would love to be part of it. And at that time, I was about moving back to Abuja from Lagos. And he said, I would need you to be in charge of the tribe in Abuja. And I was excited. It was an amazing moment because it was almost like he was spirit-led to ask me that question.
I joined Church on the Street in 2020, coming out of dwelling in the COVID-19 pandemic cases, listening to people, everything that is going on in the world, and all those were affecting my mental health. And I knew that, we've been at home doing nothing. I needed to do something. I really wanted to make impact, but I didn't know how to go about it. So going through someone's status, I just saw something about Church on the Street. I was like, what's this all about? So I went through it, and it landed me on the website, and I just filled the form, and here I am spent years with Church on the Street.
And when I started off, I had only 700 naira. Now 700 naira is less than $10. But I had a dream in my heart that a day will come when I'll be able to feed nations. I'll be able to ensure that kids don't go out of school because of tuition. And that was the reason why we started Church on the Street. The early years was not really the easiest or the smoothest journey because we didn't have enough resources. We didn't even have enough experiences. But there was something burning in our hearts. It was a passion to want to see the lives of children transformed, to see families never having to go to bed hungry. For us, and that journey began this incredible work where 4 friends who started Church on the Street today has built an organization, and in 5 years we are reaching over 8,000 beneficiaries in Nigeria, in 10 states in the country. For me, that's something really inspiring, and there are people out there who've been incredible support to the work. I remember my very first trip to Benue State, Nigeria. I had never been to an IDP camp in my lifetime, and that experience of going to the IDP camp in Benue changed my perspective to how to give, to how to support, and even to how I looked at my own life and became very grateful about my journey. We saw families who were living in makeshift tents. These tents were made from cement sacks. We saw children drinking very dirty water. Kids were not going to school. And here we were, young people, young undergraduate students who came together to fundraise to see that those families in the IDP camp in Benue State, Nigeria, had access to also equal opportunities. We're able to preach the gospel. We had a medical team on ground. We had friends who had given us stationaries. We had clothing items we gave to the families. And I would never forget the expression on the faces of the families. It changed my perception. It changed how I viewed the world. And I know that there are people who are going to be listening to me right now and who are thinking, how do I make the world a better place? At the end of the day, it starts with you and I. It's not about having all the resources, It's about asking yourself, what do I currently have at my disposal that I could actually use to make a difference? I just want you to look at me for a second. We started an organization with only 700 naira, but here we are today. God breathing on that 700 naira. Over 8,000 families have been direct beneficiaries from that 700 naira. So the quick question is, what can't you do really? And I just hope that you find some sort of encouragement from my story.
Remember when Church on the Street started in 100 level right there in the University of Benin in Uniben. And I remember when Director Itofa, which is the founder, told me about the very first outreach that they're going to go and visit an orphanage home that is directly opposite the University of Benin. Though I couldn't attend because I had another orphanage visitation that same day in my fellowship, but I just like, okay, this is a very good initiative, and from there Church on the Street started. And the funniest part is that I didn't want to be part of it because I just had this mindset of I'm just going to have this whole fellowship stuff and all of that until a fateful day in the class. I knew we were having one of those lectures in biology that day, and the founder was like, hey Nelson, why don't you join us for prayers? I was like, okay, that's a good idea. And then I followed him to the field, which is called the basement field. And there I just joined the team to pray, just in norms, like, okay, let's just pray and let's just go home. And right there, that was the very day I got into Church on the Street. And ever since then, it has been an amazing encounter. Trust me when I say it's been an amazing encounter. Like seeing how we have gone from different projects. I will always say my best project has always been Project Balm in Gilead. That project was a project that actually stretched our faith to the extent that we believed things that weren't there and we saw it come to pass. I remember when we had the money, we had to go to this part of the school they call Buka in school so that we can be able to get more food for those people that are staying on the street in Ring Road as it's in Benin City, so we can give them food. And after getting there, we thought, okay, let's give them pure water, what we refer to as pure water, sachet water here in Nigeria. And then some days too, the founder was like, why don't we go for bottled water? These people, they deserve bottled water. And I was like, okay, let's go for it. But the truth is that we didn't even have the money. We didn't even have the money at all. But with faith, which is the highest currency at that time, till now, forever, we had our faith in that. And we walked up to the factory opposite the school. And we placed orders on some bottled water. And they didn't even know we didn't have the money. But we thought that we were going to come on the very day to pick it up. And God just blew our mind that the money came. And the very day we went to the factory, like, we need our bottled water. They were telling us, we thought you people, you're not ready and all of that. We're like, no, we need our bottled water today. And they had to give us our water, and we took it, and that project was excellent. And from there, we've seen how God has taken us to different projects, different kind of projects we have seen, and it's really, really amazing. It's really, really amazing.
I have been the director in Abuja for 5 years. It has not been an easy experience, but I have grown. I've never had the task of bringing volunteers together and getting them to do things outside their comfort zone. It has taken a lot from me over the years, but I have learned, I have failed, I have learned. So I'm a better leader because of Church on the Street. I'm a better director. So going out there, I feel I could do more, I could do better, I could impact more because of this position. And I've been really honored since the first day till now. To
me, personally, Church on the Street have actually built me up personally as an individual. I remember the first time I did an actual application to be a fellow at the Barack Obama Leadership Initiative. Church on the Street was the platform I used, and that got me into the cohort 11. And today I'm an alumnus of Barack Obama Leadership Initiative Fellow, yearly. And ever since then, I've experienced growth and I've seen a lot of opportunities Church on the Street has granted me.
My dream for the work that we currently do as Church on the Street is to see how do we continue to create more opportunities for families, especially empowering women in the IDP camps, for them to be able to reconcile back into the society through entrepreneurial trainings. I mean, in Nigeria today, there are over 10 million children who are out of school. 2 million of those children who are under 5 years old are malnourished. This is where we come in as an organization. And I'm calling on the heart of every single person, because I believe every meal we give to a child is not just a meal, it's a bowl of hope. And that's what we're currently doing with the food bank, My Naija Food Bank. And I really want to say that with your support, we'll be creating an incredible future for every single child in Nigeria. It could be the next president, it could be the next architect, it could be the next engineer who would revolutionize what it means to be Nigerian. And I'm calling on the hearts of every single person to join me and the incredible team you've heard from today to make a difference in the world, starting with one child at a time, because every single life we touch, we're extending our hands to Jesus.